Oh man, of all the people to be today, you did not want to be Hunter Biden. It turns out that the judge in his case around his special sweetheart deal, it turns out the judge kind of doesn't like the whole rules for thee but not for me, particularly around that gun charge. And Hunter doesn't want to go to prison, so the entire thing fell apart. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one and send this one out because the whole rules for thee but not for me protected class thing is particularly asinine. But let's get into it. As we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. You guys have been doing a phenomenal job getting back on, making sure that subscription is active because a lot of you are telling me that it did not stick through against your wishes. So make sure it's checked and help us get to 500,000 subscribers, 500,000 right around the corner, and I appreciate your help in that endeavor. All right, beautiful people, we have got a hit on this because it turns out that this ain't looking too good for the Bidester, the little Bidester. The wee one, not the lost one, the wee one. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to charges after judge questions revised plea deal. Now remember, he had a sweetheart deal granted to him. He wasn't going to go to prison. It was already agreed upon until the judge started asking some questions. And wouldn't you know it, that judges don't really like sweetheart deals given to the political elite because they are the political elite when they clearly violate federal gun laws. And then they get off all the while their father's enforcing even more gun laws and saying we need more and ban more things. It does not get more hypocritical and ironic than this. Let's continue, my friends. Hunter Biden, son of President Joe Biden, pleaded not guilty to federal tax charges Wednesday pending a judge's approval of a revised plea deal his lawyers hashed out with the prosecutors in court after the initial deal collapsed. Oh, it collapsed all right. This is one of those things where you just kind of watch as a fly on the wall and you'd love to be there. Biden's original agreement to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges fell apart amid a dispute over how his plea would impact an ongoing government investigation, NBC News reported. Now, I wonder what that could be. $1.5 million in income and avoidance of taxes, but you have no job and no business and no product or anything that you can sell or a service rendered. Wonder what it could be. But anyway, turns out that it kind of fell apart when the judge asked hey, is this going to interfere with any pending investigations? And the prosecutors were like, What? Would you speak in my good ear? Yeah, it didn't work out too well. Let's continue. The 53-year-old Biden had initially appeared in U.S. District Court in Wilmington, Delaware, to enter a guilty plea a month after federal prosecutors first revealed the criminal tax charges against him. His attorneys had reached a separate pretrial diversion agreement with prosecutors on an unrelated firearms charge those court filings showed. But that plan fell apart under scrutiny from Judge Mary Ellen Norica about the details of the plea deal. Now, this is the important piece. His father is out there pounding the drum for gun control across the board, banning of assault weapons, semi-automatic weapons, magazine bans, red flag laws, all the unconstitutional actions from on high in the presidency. Meanwhile, his son is being investigated for a federal gun charge which carries a penalty of 10 years in prison. Pound me, federal prison. Just saying. But you know what? We can't have the president's son going to jail on a federal gun charge for 10 years in an election season, so the prosecutors got a sweet deal for him where he won't see any type of jail time. They'll only have to answer for the $1.5 million in income that has no reason. Anyway, let's keep going, because I can't touch that one. Prosecutors said the agreements on the tax and gun charges were distinct. But during the hearing, Hunter Biden said he wouldn't agree to plead guilty to the tax charges without the diversion program and dismissal of gun charges, according to NBC News reporters in the courtroom. So all of a sudden you're not going to plead guilty to the tax charges if you can't get off on the gun charges. It's almost like there's a political angle here that you don't want to go to prison because it will affect your father, and that affects the prosecutorial. I'm not going to say integrity. That would be wrong. That would be very, very presumptive. Threatens the jurisprudence of the area. No, that's not right either. Whatever. Threatens the whole system. Let's keep going, because it's quite clear what's going on. Weiss, who is the prosecutor, had also offered Biden a pretrial diversion agreement on a separate felony charge of possessing a firearm as a user of illegal drugs, Weiss said. Biden in 2018 owned a Colt Cobra revolver despite knowing he was an unlawful user of and addict to a controlled substance, court documents said. The gun charge carries a penalty of 10 years in prison, but the deal with prosecutors is expected to mean that Biden will avoid any jail time. Meanwhile, the EU and the rest of the plebeians are going to go to jail for this exact same thing, even though it has been ruled unconstitutional in certain courts. It is an issue that is still pending litigation in the courts, and after all, this is Biden. I don't love talking about this because it's just irritating that there's rules for these and not for me. But it is kind of nice to see a sweetheart plea deal fall apart when federal prosecutors offered the president's son a good deal where he'd avoid 10 years of federal prison, of which you would go to. But you know what? It's okay because it fell apart. So now we just get to watch like with popcorn in the side seats. It's going to be amazing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.